Hello, welcome to Boardgames with Niramas. Today it's time for another game that Drako wants to learn. So Drako has been checking out this kind of scary game, but Arkham Horror, the card game. I mean, Drako feels like he's getting, he's becoming a big dragon now. He's ready to do some scary game. And so he asked me, and I said, I have no idea how to play this. So we invited Keith to come over and teach Drako how to play this game of Arkham Horror and Terror and whatever. There's a lot of sea monsters and stuff in these games, tentacles and all that stuff. Well, I think we should just get going, and I'm just here to help Drako as usual. It's a card game, and you can imagine these little, you see, it doesn't work out. I have to help him out with the cards, so that's my role, but I'll leave it to Keith to explain the game.
Yeah. In this game, we're playing as investigators, and the investigators are our characters. So I am playing as Daisy Walker, the librarian, and Drako is playing as Roland Banks, the Fed. And our characters are represented by these decks of cards. So the goal of the game is to complete the scenario, and the scenarios change depending on what you're playing. We're playing one of the Dunwich Legacy, which is the first expansion, the extracurricular activity scenario. And
this player mat is an addition as well, right?
Yeah, it's something you can buy as well. It's official Fantasy Flight, but
okay.
So cost extra. Doesn't come with the box.
So in the box you just get a game for 2 players, right?
Yes, exactly.
But you can sort of get more cards and so on, and you can play it with more than 2 players.
Exactly. Yeah. But you need to buy cards. You need to buy more scenarios if you want to play. The base box only comes with 3 scenarios.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what we need to do is on these act cards, we need to advance the act deck. There's 3 cards here, and we need to advance it by finding clues.
Yeah, of course. There's always clues in these games.
Always clues. In this case, to advance this one, we need to collect and hand in 3 clues per investigator. That's what that little hat symbol there means. And we need to do that before the agenda deck, which are these cards here, advance. And they advance they gather doom tokens from various effects.
Okay.
Once you get the amount of doom tokens written here, you flip this over, bad stuff happens, and you move on. Bad stuff's always happening. No matter what you're doing, bad stuff is happening.
And I mean, I recognize a lot of this from Eldritch Horror and Dimension of Madness and all these kind of games. But I guess it's the same. I mean, the basic theme is the same and everything, but then it's just this is in cards.
Lot of characters, monsters, and stuff coming back.
I think I recognize the one you're playing from some game.
Yeah, I think they're all from Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, all those games. So the game progresses in phases, which are played over how many rounds it takes us to either complete the scenario or go mentally insane or just be physically defeated. Oh
yeah, I recognize it here. We have both the physical health, and then we have the sanity meter.
Yeah, your mental trauma.
So, alright, and Draco's guy here, he has a special ability as well. Mm-hmm. After he defeats an enemy, discover 1 clue at his location.
Exactly.
So he's a good fighter, I guess.
He's good at fighting, yeah. My character, she's good at finding clues and stuff.
Okay.
But the phases as they are. First is the mythos phase. And we're going to skip the mythos phase on the first turn, but we can go through what it is. First, you add a doom to the agenda. Then each player will draw one of these mythos cards or encounter cards.
Okay.
And stuff will happen. For example, you might draw an enemy.
Yeah.
And it can either spawn on you if nothing else is written, or it will tell you on the card where it spawns.
Okay. That's the girl with the hand there. That's from the last expansion for Magic.
Oh, is it? Yeah, okay.
So
a lot of
I
art might be
recognize her.
Once we've done the mythos phase, then we go on to the player phase, where we perform 3 actions.
Yeah.
And there are all kinds of actions we can do. One action, you can draw a card. if you want. You can move, that's also an action, so I could move to any connecting location here, so I could move down to the student union.
Okay.
You can investigate as a skill check, and I'll get the skill checks in a bit. You can fight an enemy, that's also a skill check. You can evade an enemy. So when you play a card, which is mostly what we're going to be doing to sort of accomplish stuff, either to get our equipment ready or to try and solve puzzles or fight enemies. That's all through cards.
Yeah.
So
do we draw a starting hand or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll draw cards at the end of each round as well. So you can play a card, and that costs an action to play a card. And you also need to pay the resource cost in the top right corner.
Okay.
Or top left.
Yeah.
So this one would cost 4 resources, and we all start with 5 resources. So this would cost me my 4 resources.
Oh, okay, that's what these are for, yeah.
And there are different types of cards. So there are asset cards, and this specifically is an ally card, so I get an extra little buddy with me.
Okay.
There's also other asset cards like equipment, like I could equip a magnifying glass.
Alright, so if you play this, then you have it equipped.
Exactly.
And then you get the
and it needs
benefits.
to be equipped for me to use it.
Okay.
And some will give you benefits. You can equip weapons. Like you could, for example, equip a knife, which will help you in combat to fight the monsters. And these asset cards, most of them have symbols on them. So these, for example, have hand symbols. So I can only have 2 of these equipped because Daisy only has 2 hands.
Yeah, that's logical.
You can only have 1 ally at a time. So you can only have 1 friend following you around, not including Roland over here. There are also other assets that don't have any. If they don't have any symbol down here, you can have as many of them as you want.
Okay, there's other items.
Yeah.
So.
There's also a necklace. You can only have 1 of those. There's also a arcane, which is a little pentagram. You can only have 1 of those.
Okay.
And a body symbol. You can also only have 1 of those.
Yeah, so basically like armor and
all of this is in the manual if you want to check it out. So playing a card costs an action. And it also costs you the resource cost up here. Just one little thing. This card here, it has the fast keyword on it.
Oh, okay.
So it does not cost an action to play.
Oh, okay. So fast is a good one, all right?
Yeah. You can also do actions on cards. So when there's this arrow symbol, you can activate this as an action.
Okay.
And then you do what it says.
So first you play it as an action, then you can activate it
Exactly.
later on. Yeah.
So one of the things I mentioned was skill checks. So if you want to investigate a location, and this where we're starting doesn't have any clues, but let's say just for the sake that it has clues on it. If I want to get these clues, I have to investigate the location.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, I do the investigation skill check. Any skill check, you compare your stat, and for investigation, you're comparing your intellect, which is the book symbol.
Okay.
And you compare it to the location. So this black number here, the 3, is what I need to beat.
And you have 5 there.
So Daisy has a 5 against a 3. And then we draw from this chaos bag
Alright.
a chaos token.
This doesn't come with the game either.
This is also extra. So here, for example, I'd have 5 minus 3, that's 2 against 3, so I failed it.
So this is instead of rolling a die, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And any ties are in the investigator's favor.
Okay.
But if you're, for example, like Roland, he's not as good at investigating as Daisy is. He only has a 3. What you can do is spend cards in the skill check to buff them.
Okay.
So, for example, I could discard this magnifying glass because it has a little book symbol up there.
All right.
And that gives me +1, and I could discard more cards if I want. I could discard this one, which has 2 wild symbols.
All right. So can you can you sort of can you discard cards on Draco's turn or not?
If we're in the same location, yes.
Okay. So
we need to be in the same location to help each other.
Oh, that's nice.
So this would be if I was investigating, this would be 3 plus my base, which is 5, so that would be 8.
Minus whatever, or
minus
is
whatever
there pluses in there as well?
There's a plus. There is also the dreaded. I'm going to look in there and pull it out. The dreaded auto fail.
All right.
No matter what number you have on your skill check, this is going to fail if you draw this one.
So yeah, okay, it's very very similar to a lot of other games and so on. But if you discard a card from your deck, then will you ever get it back, or is how
you can get it back if you completely draw through your deck.
Yeah.
And you have no cards left. Then you shuffle your discard pile, and you take 1 mental horror.
Oh, okay.
Because you've been at this so long and you're exhausted.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I'll guess we will get going then, and
fighting enemies is the same as skill check. Just then you're comparing your combat value with the enemy's combat value.
Okay.
Once we've done all our actions, then it's the enemy phase.
The mythos phase.
No,
it's the
enemy phase.
Okay.
And the enemies sometimes they'll move.
Okay.
If they're in the same location as us, they'll attack us. And when they attack, it says how much damage and horror they do.
Yeah.
So this one does 1 damage and 1 horror. And when it attacks, the attack goes through automatically. They don't have to do a skill check to attack us.
So it's okay. That's how it works. So we have to get rid of them on our turn. Otherwise, we'll take.
Otherwise, we'll take some damage potentially. There are some cards where you can dodge or stop damage from coming in. Then once the enemies have done their stuff, then we have the upkeep phase where we each get to take another resource.
Yeah.
And we draw a card.
Okay.
And then we go back into the mythos phase, and that keeps going until we win or we lose.
I assume it's kind of quite difficult.
It is, yeah. We're playing right now on the standard difficulty. You can modify either by flipping this over, then these tokens, when they come up, will have
they have different
even
meanings.
worse effects.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, if you're playing on hard or expert, you add even more bad tokens into this bag.
Okay. So, yeah.
But we're playing on the standard difficulty right now.
All right. So we start off, the cards here indicate which room we're in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We start in the Miskatonic Quad at the Miskatonic University. The goal of this scenario is we're trying to find Professor Warren Rice.
Okay.
And you see these locations are not flipped over. When you enter a location, then you flip the card over and you can see what's there to get.
So there's on the back there.
But we don't know what's in those locations until we actually go there.
Okay.
And which locations you can go to, as I said, you can see this one is connected with all locations that has this symbol.
Okay.
So it's connected to this library, it's connected to the Humanities Building, it's connected to the Student Union, it's connected to the Administration Building, it's connected to the Science Building.
Alright, so there's 7 different rooms here, or locations.
And some of these locations might be connected with each other as well.
Yeah.
So we start, also one last thing, there are certain cards which are called either treachery cards or they have the keyword revelation on them.
Okay.
And when you draw a card that says revelation, you have to instantly play it. You have no choice.
Alright.
Because usually it's a weakness or it's something bad.
Alright.
Because each one of these characters, they have a random basic weakness, and they also have a character-specific weakness.
Okay.
So Daisy's weakness, her character-specific weakness, is she's carrying around the Necronomicon.
Okay, yeah.
And it might show up and do nasty things.
Okay.
So, to start with, we can draw 5 cards.
Well, I'll help you. It's so heavy in the front.
And if you don't like the look of them, you can discard them and draw as
okay.
Draw
you have a redraw.
Yeah. And if you draw one of those weakness cards, you discard it and draw one to replace it automatically. So you don't have to start with one in your hand.
Okay.
Again, as a tip, it's always good to start with some weapons in case we get into a fight.
Yeah. Are we? I mean, it's a cooperative game. Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I got Drako has 2 of these overpower cards. Says practice max 1 committed per skill test.
Yeah. Those have, if you see, they have the fight symbol.
Yeah.
Those are really good to use in the fight, but as they said, you can only use one of them at a time in a fight.
Oh, that's what it means. Yeah. Okay.
But usually, I think those, if you pass the skill check with one of those, you get to draw a card as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right. So let's start with this. It does have a knife here, so let's go with that.
All right.
I think I'll put these like this here, and we'll just go through them as it's his turn.
Yep. So, first round we skip the mythos phase, so we go right into during actions.
Yeah. Do we choose who goes first, or is it
we can choose from round to round who goes first, depending on. But I can go first.
Yeah.
As Daisy. So in the Miskatonic Quad here, all we can do is, as an action, resign. It says we can't find rice anywhere. You leave the campus, hoping Armitage will forgive you.
Oh, you can't give up.
if we want, we can just leave and we go on to the next scenario. But we might not.
Ah, okay. So it's like
we haven't fulfilled our objective.
It's like a campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
so I guess we get some rewards if we manage to finish it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can go anyway. I think Daisy, she's a librarian. She's gonna hit up the library right off the bat. So she's gonna go here. That's one action. And I flip this over, and it says she needs to spend 1 additional action to investigate her. And here we see how many clues we put on. It says 1 and then investigator hat. So it's 1 per investigator.
Yeah.
So we put 2 clues here.
Right. So 2 out of the 6 we need for the first.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've used 1 action to go here. I can use an action. I can use 2 actions to investigate. And I think I will as Daisy. And I'm going to play my magnifying glass, which is a fast card.
Oh yeah, so
she's going to equip
an action now.
As one of her hand slots.
Yeah.
She's going to equip a magnifying glass, and that costs me a resource.
All right.
So she has +1 while investigating, and she has 5, so she has 6 right now against 3.
Okay, and you draw one of these.
I'll draw one of these. Hope it's not a -4 or an auto fail. And I draw a cultist.
Okay.
Then we see what it means. A cultist is -1 or -3 if I have 10 or more cards in my discard pile. So that's a -1.
-1, all right.
So I pass and I get to take a clue.
Okay. And then is it an action to spend a clue on the objective?
Not you, unless it says so.
Okay.
Otherwise it's free.
So you can hold on to that and then just spend it whenever you want.
Exactly.
Can you use the clue for other stuff like?
Sometimes yes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna hang on for this now. And that cost me 2 actions to investigate there. So
that's right.
All my actions. So now it is Draco's turn.
Right. So Drako, what are your guy going to do here? So you have nothing to fight, right? So there's no point in that.
But it is good to get a weapon out.
Yeah, it's good to put it out there.
And it's ready for when you get in a fight.
So let's say, okay, Drako, let's do this. So get the knife out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it will, as an action here, I guess, fight, you get +1. Is that an action symbol?
Yeah, that's an action symbol.
You get +1. So if he ends up in a fight, does he have to spend an action to get that +1?
He has to spend an action to do the fight, and he does that by sort of activating this card.
Okay.
But you can also
discard the knife. Yeah.
Discard the knife and throw it at them for more damage.
Okay, so it's +2.
Yeah.
All right. So
and that costs you 1.
Oh yeah, that's
of your resources.
1 resource.
So it's like your mana in Hearthstone or Magic or whatever.
Yeah. So that was 1 action, and now I think he will move, right? Because there's not much to do there. Where we're at. So that's 1 action to move.
Yeah. And now it's the sort of horror movie thing. Do we split up to cover more ground?
They always do that.
Or do we stay together where there's safety in numbers?
Okay, I think Drako wants to go on his own here
Okay.
because he's feeling cocky today.
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's see. I guess he'll go down here then.
Yep, to the student union.
And so we'll flip this card.
Exactly.
And let's see. So Miskatonic, whatever that means. Forced after student union is revealed, put the set aside dormitories into play. Right, and here we can spend 2 actions, I guess, since there's 2 arrows.
Yep.
To heal 1 damage and 1 horror, so we can heal down here. Okay.
So, from the student union, we can go to.
Oh yeah, we found a new room. Yeah, okay.
But it says the door is locked. You cannot go into the dormitories yet.
Okay, we need to find some key or something.
And this place only has 2 clues because there's no investigator symbol.
So let's see. He spent 1 to equip the knife. Then he moved, and now he can investigate them.
Exactly.
So if you want to investigate, then it's the book, right? Or what?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So he has 3.
He has 3, and that's against a 1 there, so it's pretty easy location.
Let's try that.
Okay.
So I'll pull one of these, and that's a -2, so he's down to 1.
And since it's a tie, it goes in investigator's favor. So he gets one of those clues.
Of these clues. Nice.
Okay, so we've done all our actions. So we do the enemy phase, but there are no enemies.
Yeah.
So we go into the upkeep phase where we gain a resource.
Right.
And then we draw, I believe it's 1 card. Can you check the...
Reset actions, ready all exhausted card. Each investigator draws 1 card and gains 1 resource. Yeah.
So 1 card.
1 more card. Oh, look at that. He got a gun here. That's cool.
Ooh. Roland likes his guns.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we do the mythos phase. So we add 1 doom.
It's a timer, basically.
Exactly, it's a ticking clock. And then we each draw 1 encounter card each.
At the same time, or?
At the same time.
Okay. Let's go over yours first.
Okay, so I drew Terror from Beyond. This is one of the treachery cards. So this says, choose one of the following card types. So either an asset, event, skill.
Yeah.
Each player must discard each card in his or her hand of the chosen card type. So if I say asset, we all discard all assets we have in our hand.
But can you choose something that none of us have?
So I'd say asset would be very bad for me because I have a lot of them in my hand.
Yeah. And assets are.
It will say in the top.
It says there, yeah.
In the top left.
Yeah, that's the gun there. Okay. So skill would be better, of course.
Skill would be better. How do you feel about events?
I don't have any events.
Me neither. So I'll choose events. So that basically, and since we've dealt with this, it goes in.
All right. So it was that. I guess later on that would be bad because we will have to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is Ancient Evils. Omen, Revelation, place 1 doom on the current agenda. This effect can cost. Okay, so that was just.
We get an extra doom.
Yeah.
Clock 2 out of 7.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess you'll go first again.
Yep. And I'll spend. I'm going to spend 1 resource to get a knife out in case I get into any trouble over here.
Yeah.
So I now have 2 hand slots, so my hands are full right now. So if I want to equip another hand item, I need to discard 1.
Yeah.
And then as 2 actions, I'm going to investigate this library. And I still have 6 against 3. So I'm going to draw a chaos token. -3, so that's a tie, so I pass.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now we're sort of done with this room, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You've cleared it up.
Okay.
So that's all my actions.
So I think Drako will go for getting his 38 special out here. That costs 3.
Ooh, that's a good gun.
So let's see. Round bank stack only uses 4 ammo. Okay, so spend 1 ammo. What's an ammo then?
So we put 4 of these resource tokens on it to sort of show it's how many uses it has, basically.
You have +1 for this attack. If there are 1 or more clues on your location, you get +3 instead.
Ooh.
This attack deals +1 damage. Also, that's really strong. So, yeah, because damage and hits are different things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
So I forgot to mention when we're fighting. When you do an attack, unless it's not with a weapon or anything, you just deal base 1 damage.
Yeah, okay. So that was 1, and let's see. There's nothing to fight out here, but let's do another investigation. Clue, So let's say once again he has 3. He hasn't boosted it in some way now. Yeah, only guns and a gun and a knife. So let's see here, and that's that's not a good symbol, I guess.
So this one's the skull in this scenario is -1.
Okay.
If you fail, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. But
that wasn't bad. That's 2 versus 3 then. So Drako passes again, gets that clue. So I guess we're pretty much done here now then.
Yep.
Because that's the only thing you're really going for, is going around.
Going for clues.
Yeah.
Or sometimes there are monsters we need to defeat before, because they'll do bad things if we let them live.
Oh yeah, of course. But they only come out in the enemy, or in the when we draw these cards. Huh?
Sometimes they'll come out when we flip the deck. It will
okay.
tell us the
So
monsters are
Drako
coming.
still have 1 action. Where could he move? Could he move to?
He can move to... he can move back to the quad, or he can go, but the dormitories are locked.
So he could go over here, right?
No, because it's not. It's connected. This place is connected to either the Miskatonic quad or the dormitories.
Well, I guess he'll move back then, because from here he can go over this side.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he'll go back here to the starting room. So that was his 3 actions.
Yeah.
And then we go for enemy phase.
Enemy phase. There are no enemies, so we do upkeep. So we gain a resource.
Oh, yeah.
And draw a card.
New card. Oh, this is an event card. Right.
And then we do Mythos phase. So we add another 2. So we're 3 out of 7 now. And then we do an encounter. I have an arcane barrier. So it says attached to your location. As additional cost to move into or out of, we need to test willpower.
Alright, so you
can... this place, I'll put it off to the side.
Okay, so it's harder for you to get out of there.
Yeah, I need to do a willpower test, which is the head symbol.
Okay.
And it's a 4 to beat.
Oh, that's kind of hard, I guess. How much do you have on your character?
Daisy only has 3, so she's sort of medium on willpower.
Alright, then I'll take one of these as well,
Yep.
of course, here for Drako. And that's a... Oh, here we go. Monster. Yitan Observer. Prey, fuse cards in hand. Oh yeah, that's who he attacks, I guess.
Yeah, so some monsters have a hunter keyword.
Okay.
And that means they'll go for that person specifically. Otherwise, they'll go for the person who drew it.
Forced, when Yitan Observer attacks, you discard 1 card at random from your hand. If you cannot, he deals +1 damage, +1 harder. And does he end up in the location where Drako is though?
Yes, unless it says otherwise they're unspawned, but it doesn't. So he's gonna spawn here.
Yeah. And he has 4 in strength, or?
Yes, it's a 4 for the combat skill check.
Yeah.
He has 4 health points. And if you want to evade him, then it's a 3. So as an action, you can evade.
And move to another room.
Yeah, then you test your agility against the monster's evade.
Yeah, okay.
Because otherwise, right now, if you move, he's going to come with you.
Oh, okay.
In fact, if you do anything other than fight or evade, he gets an attack of opportunity against you.
Oh, okay.
So if you're like trying to investigate, well, there's a monster on you, the monster's going to attack you.
All right, yeah.
Or if you're trying to move while the monster's on you, he's going to attack you.
So it's an action to try to evade him.
Yeah. But let's see, he says, prey, fuse cards in hand. So how many cards do you have in your hand?
5 here for Drako.
I have 5 as well, so I think he's going to...
Go for the one closest? Or?
I think so, yeah. So he's going to be engaged with you, so he's sort of locked on to you right now.
All right. So it's time for the player phase, right?
Yep, so now we can do your actions.
I think we'll just take a little break here, and once we get back for the second part, then you will see how Drako is going to fight that nasty creature, which can be exciting, and we're also going to keep investigating here and find out what's going on in this university. So don't miss part 2, you can go straight to it by clicking the little eye up in there in the corner, and we'll see you there.
Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.